welcome back everyone to the UKLC. My other voice is gone after last game, so it's only the Dutch voice, Maurits Krondiger-Meeuwse now.
I'm not complaining, you know, I like it. I would try and do an accent myself, but I suck at all of them.
I mean, you guys have so many accents, it's hard for me to keep track. All jokes aside, what an incredible game. And you know, some people might look at a game like that and kind of think, it's another Clown Fiesta. No, it's not Clown Fiesta Slugfest. It was a thriller.
That was
a
peak League of Legends.
46-minute thriller. And I'm really proud to present the MVP of that game. It's going to surprise absolutely no one. The Diabolus hero from the Benelux. He was unsung hero last time. Give it up, everyone, for Mike Vurijwils with insane Yasuo play. And early on, there were some moments that didn't really come to fruition, but in the end, the damage that he was able to output was insane.
Ignore everything in that entire game. Every single point. Apart from that one tornado. That one tornado that he got at the end.
That was it.
That was it. That alone is enough to give him MVP. So,
just one. That's it.
It's those one moment.
And that's what we talk about.
That one moment. One moment can win
shot,
or lose the game.
One opportunity. And he got it.
Yeah, and you have to, I believe it hit Kevo, that tornado.
It did. He lost himself.
You sort of have to, because I know he's going to take that very personally.
Yeah.
Think we had the game, and then that one tornado.
I mean, it's also like, you look at that game, and there are so many opportunities, so many moments, right? These are a million decisions leading to this game, because I think the big one was where Enclave had a lead, and then it was mainly even game, because of one overextension. They tried to overforce, and it just doesn't work out that way in League of Legends, unfortunately. And Diabolus, as we were saying before, their mental in these long games is actually insane, because we were pretty much ready to call it. One that Owl Baron has picked up, they kill a couple of big targets, but no, they don't give up. And in the end, it's Diabolus that move on yet again. And you know, how high did you have them in your tier list?
Not that high.
Not that high.
Not that high.
Well,
I thought they impressed week one. They did well to win this game, but I think neither team can come away from that game and be happy. Enclave obviously lost, so they're like, you're never going to be happy in that scenario. And I think that Diabolus, despite the win, there were a lot of issues in that one. They fell behind for a lot of areas, and they have to go back to the drawing board if they want to beat either of our next two competitors, who both look like they could be big teams in the split. This is our match to watch, our match of the day between Barrage and Mnm.
Yeah, Barrage taking on Mnm here, and that's going to be one hell of a match. We've already seen a lot of action. We've seen a crazy game from Demise, where they pull out the Garen U, and we've seen a really, really clean game from Fnatic, where they just absolutely dismantle. And we've seen this 46-minute slugfest once again from Diabolus in the first round. But now, Barrage taking Mnm. Now, we saw one showing from Barrage, and it wasn't very good, but who can really blame them?
It was against XL.
It was against XL, and honestly, Mnm had some moments, but I don't think anyone really looked, even Fnatic didn't look that good against XL. They just looked absolutely dominating.
Fnatic had some life, Barrage had some life. There were moments.
There were moments.
And I think that's why people have given Barrage a lot of credit, because yes, you lost to XL, but there were moments where you made it look a bit even. And that's why it's really hard to judge this one, because Mnm from last split looked very good. They've had the addition of Yusa, but then Monk is a big part of Diabolus, has gone over to Barrage. And yes, they only got one game last week. They only got 0 points, but it's hard to call. Yeah. Was this just XL disrespecting them, or was this Barrage showing that they have some fangs and some guns on their battleship? Is the big question.
Yeah, and of course, our match of the day, it's because Barrage, they really want to prove themselves, because they were kind of a low middle of the pack tier team last time. Didn't get into relegation, but didn't have the greatest of showings.
Yeah.
Whereas Mnm, they were really, really top tier team. And in the end, they just couldn't make the final jump, and people are really putting a lot of expectations on them here today.
Absolutely, especially since you look at the players that picked up. Only Angel, who has won the UK scene before, is a top laner. They have Yusa in the AD carry role as well, which has been a lot of people have expectations for him since he got his debut and had Rookie of the Split. I think there's a lot of hopes for this Mnm roster. Then on the other side, Barrage, they have the likes of Monk is in the jungle, who he hasn't missed an EU Masters yet.
So let's take a look at some of the statements that were made surrounding this match of the day, because I'm really excited here, and that we say Monk is, I know for a fact that Yusa and I will do our absolute best to win against each other. But there is just one clear difference between us, and that is that my team is better. That's a bold statement, but Monk is...
He's saying it.
Monkeys is really good. You
Yeah,
know?
he's
really
got
good at
belief in
League of
his team.
Legends, and he's got faith in his team. And I got faith in Barrage as well. I predicted him to win today.
Yeah, that's fair. I think you were the only one, I believe.
was
and
the
then
only one.
we do also have a statement coming out from Yusa, his former teammate. They were teammates last split on Dabless, and Yusa has a little response, I guess, to the statement coming out from Monkeys, and we will get to see that.
Ooh. You know, after Monkeys' statement, I'm kind of expecting fireworks, to be quite honest. The reason why Monkeys... Oh,
Yeah, you did. Okay, the reason why Monkeys did so well last split was that he had a carry he could rely on and facilitate. However, this time, I'm not so sure.
Ooh. Can I just say how cool a name Yo Cortez is? Like, that's a top-tier name.
That's a pretty good name.
That is a really cool name. And Yusa there, just to make it very clear that the only...
He had Yo Cortez, which sounds so cool, and then he was like, I'm just going to call myself Yusa.
Yeah.
You know, which sounds like something Jar Jar Binks would say. What happened?
I have no response to that, honestly.
Am I wrong?
I'm just trying to move on, you know, with some quality analysis
Am I wrong?
here. You're not wrong. you are right, dogs. You said right. We take a look here. And, you know, after Monkeys saying, my team is better, you says the only reason that your last team was better is because I was in it. And the matchup to watch, though, has nothing to do with either of these two players. It is instead my boy from the Benelux, Benjamin Zergoff, taking on only Angel now. Zergoff in the last game, of course, had a highlight moment on his Gnar, and then subsequently had kind of a low moment when he tried to make a teleport
low-light
flank.
moment?
Low lens moment.
Yeah.
That's, you know, what we call ourselves in the Netherlands. And only Angel and Aatrox dominating. Just even in the games that Mnm lost, insane.
His caveat, only Angel looked great, but it was on Aatrox. That champion's really broken. So I'll be interested to see if Barrage let him get his hands on that and how well the matchup goes when he doesn't have his hands on, you know, one of the really OP champions.
Let's take a look at the rosters here for Barrage first. And of course, Zergoff in the top lane, Monkeys in the jungle, Diva in the mid lane, and Jakamaka as first, like as AD carry and support. And really, really solid performance from the last year, as could be expected at least, as Mnm Gaming are going to take them on only Angel in the top lane, Naughty in the jungle, Chibs, rookie of the split in the mid lane, Yusa, AD carry, and Shogun as support. And Mnm Gaming had a good showing last week, but I don't think they're going to be happy with losing to Excel, because besides that, they were looking quite strong.
I think neither of us is going to be happy with losing to Excel. I know Excel had a great performance. They are looking like the best team in the league. I know both teams will want to aim higher. They want to get into the top 4, be in the talking for going to EU Masters. I mean, Monkeys has never missed one yet. And then this Mnm roster, they were so close last time. They had a 2-1 loss against Dablers. They felt like they could have gone a bit further. They were really tangling with the big dogs in Fnatic and Excel, but they just didn't quite make it.
Now we go into picks and bans for the final match in Fortnite of today. And last one was a 46-minute slugfest. I'm curious what this one is going to be, as the Akali's taken away there from Chibs. Aurelia, Puma, Big and Ban. I don't think it's been not banned in any single UKLC game thus far.
No, it's just been left open. And we actually see the Aatrox banned by Mnm here. So not willing to give that over as a first pick to Barrage. It's interesting because we haven't seen a ton of first pick Aatroxes. Often gets picked up on the red side rotation.
Exactly.
So it does suggest to me that only Angel has something else in his wheelhouse he's willing to bring out. Not just a one trick, at least as of yet. And we do see the Karma taken away. That means there are big things like that Sona potentially available. The Yumi is still an option. Could see another Yumi Karen. Why not? Still a lot of champions open.
I'm not ready for another Yumi Garen game.
I'm so sad I missed that game.
Yeah.
I'd love to cast a Yumi Garen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, it was really fun. It was, you know, the analysis as well, like, so Garen now moves forward and he starts spinning.
Oh, and he is spinning. We do see Lux get banned away, one of the really high tier supports right now. A lot of shield and a lot of defense. And that does mean Yumi is sort of left open as a big option. But I'm not sure how willing I would be to first pick it.
Honestly,
back up with other picks.
I wouldn't mind if first pick Yumi, but instead they're going to go for the Nico. A little bit more flexibility. And while Yumi is a strong pick, the Nico allows you to, as we see here, has been really popular. High ban rate, high pick rate, just a great flex pick. Can go, as we saw, last basically anywhere. That does mean that Mnm is going to pick it up. Do you think, like Dan Voxney, we hype him up as like this big mechanical carry. You don't think? Do you think Yusa is going to say, "Oh, that's fine, I'll take Garen as well"?
It's not about him saying I'll take Garen or not. It's about having it prepared. I would not pick this game to have your first ever Garen Yumi game. And
I think I was told that Dan Voxnia played Garen like 2 or 3 times.
in solo queue?
No, at all.
Oh, okay.
Like, ever.
I mean, that's more than one, you know, and...
Do you really think that that makes the difference? Or are you just trying to save
I
your
don't know.
point here?
I feel like in this matchup, it's very close. Mnm are just going to bring out something they've never played before. And they do take the Yuumi, which is a pretty powerful pick, and then they also look for the Olaf for Nulti. Does mean it's a very strong combo because you can't CC Nulti. You can just run forwards on the back of that last chapter. We do see this Sona picked up by Barrage. Very likely going to be a Sona plus X bot lane. Obviously, the original was Sona Taric, but we have seen Sona Tom, even occasional Sona Gallios over in Korea. But right now, I feel like Tom is probably the big one. You could take the Taric here, offers a lot of sustain against the Yuumi. I think they're going to take it in this rotation. They will look towards the Tom Kench.
I mean, you can't really afford to not pick both Tom and Taric, and then it get banned out, and you're like stuck with just Sona, which...
Yeah, I mean, you could take the Sona Galio, but he did get some nerfs since the last time I saw that, and even then, he was not the most contested one. Tom is probably the strongest. I think Taric scales very well, but in terms of safety offered, a lot of people like the Tom. And we do see the Ezreal picked up by Mnm, so we'll be able to match a bit of that Klepto element, and does mean you have a lot of safety. And I think the 2 big lanes for me with the Yuumi are the Ezreal and the Sivir. Obviously opting to go for a bit more mid-game power with that matchup, rather than going for the Sivir, which does wait a bit longer for scaling.
And this does mean we see some bans going over to Monkeys because his jungler has not been picked up yet. And for Mnm Gaming, both their solo lanes are as of yet unknown, unless we're going to see a top lane Olaf, which I wouldn't expect. But you know, it's patch 9.13. I've seen crazier things than top lane Olaf coming back in as like kind of a hidden counter pick, but not expecting that one to come through as the Camille gets taken away here as well.
Potentially from top or mid lane.
Yeah.
Seen it in both. And we did see the Kindred, which I think is a very big one, because if there's anything that's really frustrating is that if you almost kill the Sona, and then you have that Kindred ult to keep her alive a bit longer, and then she can sustain out the back end. Makes sense. And the Camille, I think, although it's technically a ban away from Lineage as well, it does sort of seem something that would be in Chib's champion pool. He likes these melee champions to put a lot of damage out on them. And it does get taken away from both the solo laners, which is obviously what Mnm are looking to pick up in their next rotation. I think a big thing as well is the fact that you can flex it. And now Mnm have to lock in one of their solo lanes. So the ideal pick here would be a flex between mid and top, because then you don't show your hands completely until your last pick.
To be fair, with the current meta, I feel like Barrage can, even if we see a top lane matchup here, which the Gnar I feel like is more top lane oriented, is a good blind pick though. Now leaving the opportunity for Barrage to say either we pick up something that's good into that, or we go for something that we can flex as well, and then Zergov and D.Va can just work out amongst themselves, see if we can get ourselves a favorable matchup there, as it's just the jungler and top/mid laner here, and it's going to be the last pick. What do you think it's going to be?
Well, I mean, before we talk about that, the big thing that's interesting to me, I think Gragas would be great if you have the Yasuo.
Yeah.
But the big talking point for me is that a lot of people are looking at this and think this is definitely a Nico top and a Yasuo mid. But the age-old counter to the Gnar was the Yasuo. So this may be Zergoth saying, look, they've locked in Gnar, they wanted to go for a safe blind. This is the counter I can bring. I can dumpster only Angel on this pick. And I'm very interested to see where these laners end up.
And I think with the LeBlanc, Mnm Gaming not leaving any doubts as to where the lanes are going to go here. No funny business there. We're going to see Chibs on the LeBlanc. And I got to say, I love the early to mid axes that you got here with the mid and jungle. A lot of chasing power and just outright dueling potential. And looks like you are right. Zergolf, so far, we still have time left.
Still have time.
You know, I always like to give you credit.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense.
You know?
There's not very much you can do against that mid-jungle, the Olaf and the LeBlanc, because Olaf can block the CC with his ult. LeBlanc is able just to dash away from it. But top lane, you can absolutely punish that Gnar so hard. Yasuo wins the 1v1, and then Gragas is easy set up for ganks. And to be honest as well, with the Nico, if LeBlanc dashes at you in a straight line, it's very easy to land a root, and even if she goes back, you may well hit it on the receive down for distortion. So I think it's the right call with where I'd put the lanes. And now we've seen so much success come from only Angel. He's in a losing matchup. He's been playing Aatrox, so he doesn't really have very many losing matchups, other than something like a Jace, which we haven't really seen much priority on in the UK.
It's not Korea.
Yeah,
so,
it's not Korea, but
like...
I think this may be a different game because he's no longer the carry for his team. He's suffering in this matchup, and we have to see him essentially just sort of absorb pressure and let the rest of his team pick up the slack.
I got to say that I'm looking at Naughty and Chips here. Chips, of course, rookie of the split, and Naughty having some varying performances. Looked good in some games, looked a little bit less good in some others. And
looked really rough last week.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what I was saying. But thank you for clarifying.
Just for making this share, if you didn't see it, Naughty had some very interesting decision making last week, especially in the late game at least. But what can I say?
What can you say, indeed? This time, though, on the Olaf, probably going to be none of that. Has gone for the Predator Olaf here. Maximum running it down and a little bit pure dueling potential as they go for an early invade on Chips here. And that's, don't worry, that's not actual Sona, as we know, but they don't. And let's take a look at both compositions here, because you got to imagine the mid game here, though, with a Gnar, with an Asriel, and with that early game of the Olaf and the LeBlanc. That's going to be absolute bonkers here for Mnm. But if Barrage can hold on, we saw last game what happens if you go late game against the Yasuo and a Gragas, and that was without a Sona in the team.
Yeah, I think this composition absolutely for Barrage is we outscale to the maximum degree. I think they have the early element, which is the Gragas' ganking capability combined with Yasuo's winning matchup against Gnar. But in terms of mid-game, the strength is absolutely in Mnm's favor. They have so many comps, so many champions who will just come online at that point where you're just able to make big plays around mid-game objectives, and then what they'll try to do is snowball that into an objective, which will decide the game.
Well, Poker already coming down here on Fastlect and Jakamaka, and I'm also going to be looking at this bot lane because the Ezreal Yuumi in of itself might not be the most threatening of lanes, but if Naughty ever finds his way towards here, you're really looking towards the Sona to just stay alive and skill.
Yeah, and this is a safer bot lane by all means, but the difference between having a Tahm Kench and a Taric is there's less sustain in the lane. Obviously, Taric has some heals of his own, and when you're against a pure poke lane like Ezreal Yuumi, you may struggle a bit more and be more reliant on the mana pool of the Sona to get you through the laning phase. That's my concern here. It's going to mean they're lacking priority, and that's actually a very good chain coming out from Chibs.
Nice damage there, meaning the D.Va's already fairly low, and needs to be careful because we've seen what Chips can do in games where he gets an early lead, especially in something like the LeBlanc with the Ignite. The early pressure is devastating.
Yeah, we'll say, however, though, D.Va does have that TP available, so even if he goes low from a non-favorable trade,
yeah,
he will be able to TP back in as long as he doesn't die. That's what Chibs is looking for. He wants to find the kills. D.Va just wants to keep even. And then whenever he takes trades, even if they're not so favorable, he can recall, TP back in with a full refillable potion, and potentially force Chibs out of the lane.
That might be what he's looking to do, as we see Monkeys get spotted there by the Scryer's Orb. Naughty, same side of the jungle here, both, or rather, we see Monkeys kind of ahead in terms of his clearing, better the pathing that Naughty took, but I don't think you really want to run into the Olaf early on as the Gragas here. It's not going to end well.
No, absolutely not. And interesting to see that the difference in CS comes from the fact that Naughty recalled to pick up boots, so that he has access to his Predator, whereas Monkeys went for the full clear and only now has picked up his boots. And that means he should be in a position to head straight over that Scuttle Crab, but the problem is, Mnm's bot lane has priority, and Naughty is on that side of the map. So if he wants to contest that Scuttle, Mnm should come out ahead. So now Monkeys doesn't really have a ton to do with this time, which is why I think what he might do is come in for a bot lane gank, and then if that works out, he can then go towards that Scuttle Crab. But it looks like that isn't what he's going for. He is going to head straight over to it, and I'm afraid that Naughty has already put his mark down on that, and his lanes do have priority.
Mid lane, though, maybe we can see D.Va roam, but as you say, I think the 2v2 of the LeBlanc and the Olaf is simply too strong, and it looks like Monkeys and D.Va agree. They're just going to let them have this one, not going to try and contest. As we do see Naughty and Monkeys once again getting close to one another. As the ward gets cleared, a little bit of poke, but don't really want to be looking for an engage there. And that is an early advantage here for Naughty on the Olaf, kind of what he's looking for.
Absolutely. Now he has 2 camps available compared to Monkeys as 1. He got both those Scuttle Crabs. He is a really solid position just from picking up that extra objective. And I think this is the issue with playing around your weaker lanes where, you know, Yusa and Shogun have had the push advantage. And finally, they now let it up because there's no reason for them to be shoved in anymore. They're happy to let Jackamak and Fastlight get the shove because the Scuttle Crab's been taken. There's a lot of ward coverage that's given over by Nulty, and they feel comfortable.
As we see an aggressive push here coming through by Chips. I say aggressive, but he's slowly altering minions as D.Va has to recall there. Has to teleport though, so not too much loss there. And it's a fairly uneventful early game here. And I'm looking at the Infernal Drake as the main instigator of any further action that might happen around the map, because I feel like that's where we're going to see Mnm make the move. And then the question for me is, what is Barrage going to do? Are they going to try and contest? They're going to look for a gank here on Chips as he dashes in. The root is found, and there is a complete CC lock. First blood picked up there, but Naughty not having any of it flashes forward, and D.Va gets taken down as well. And it's a 1-for-1 trade, at least for now, as Naughty keeps on going.
But I think Monkeys can win this.
Oh, he's definitely looking for it. There's no flash! Flash body slam, and the hit from the W. And that's going to be the end of that, and Naughty crucially outsteps here.
Yeah, there was no reason for him to go forwards. He already traded the 1-for-1, just back off. Doesn't respect the burst damage from the Gragas, and Monkeys showing why he was so prevalent on Diabolus. I have to give credit though to D.Va. Really good ult placement, made sure it was not only on Chips' position, but also on his distortion return points. There was no way he avoided that stun.
And really clean in general, just as Chips goes in, the positioning from D.Va meant sure that Monkeys can just body slam right on top. He doesn't even have to use his flash, meaning that he can pick up the kill on Naughty as well. Now we have a Gragas with an experience lead, which is quite nice. His top lane, not a lot has happened yet, but I imagine that Zergov, he's just going to take it slow as D.Va's on the receiving end of some chip damage, but Chips also used his Ignite in that fight, and with Mercury Threads as a first item, that's not going to feel great, but Naughty, he doesn't want to let up, and he's going for the solo here on this Dragon, and supposedly Monkeys spots it with the ward now, goes in as well, and there comes the contest. But the rest of the team isn't really there to help him. The teleport comes through as Monkeys is able to dodge the root. Not sure if he can actually go for the Dragon here, and it does get taken down. Just an awkward timing with Jackamaka and Fastlight back in at that very moment, and nice pick up there of a big Dragon here for Mnm by Naughty.
That's the thing, is that Monkeys was so much stronger there than Naughty. Had the ult as well, definitely could have killed him in a 1v1, but Mnm, their lanes had priority, they had the strength from that, and so they were able to force him off and get that Infernal. Now D.Va was looking for something with Monkeys backing him up, but Monkeys on a ward means they won't find anything.
I love that Chips has the ward in the exact same spot where it got ganked before. It's like, no, not falling for that one again.
No, not again.
No, bad Gragas.
He learns from his mistakes, which has been a big talking point for Chips. Has had some issues in his first split, which was the spring season, but considering that was his debut into competitive, really stepped up so much for Mnm.
And we see he is on top of wards, but Monkeys, he's not afraid, as they might be looking for something on Early Angel, but the fact that the Olaf is there can quickly make those plans go haywire. The Engage is going to go up on top of Monkeys, and there's the Ragnarok used, so the Olaf rather isn't available, and that means that there's no follow-up from Zergov. Nice preemptive Ragnarok there by Naughty, and that means that that big combo that you're looking for just can't be found. And this time it's Naughty who finds the upper hand.
Yeah, and just disrespectful for Monkeys, wasn't aware of the positioning of Nulty, walked straight into him, and
walked over 2 wards as well.
Yeah, very good position as well from Nulty to ensure there's no way he got out with his body slam. He would have just hit Nulty, which he did. And now is the thing, is that Monkeys burnt his flash to kill Nulty, and he just paid for it with his life.
As D.Va goes in aggressively there, has a disadvantage in terms of not having the Ignite available, but Chips not that much mana. That does mean that only Angel has a rep buff now.
This is very interesting because Jackamaka didn't finish his Frostfang, instead went for the tier, which I'm of the opinion of that is the wrong decision in just every scenario, because the sooner you can stack up your Frostfang, the sooner you can start picking up farm and being more relevant. And I think that is the better call than taking the tier, because obviously stacking the tier is great, but I'm just going to say he made the wrong call there with his item priority. Obviously, if he was on a favorable back, I can understand the temptation is to get the tier, but definitely just put him behind a bit more.
But it feels so good to scale up things, you know? Just fill up that tier, as everyone does in chat all the time.
You fill up the Frostfang as well.
I know. I know, Ox.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. I understand. As the nice double control word there.
Twice the control.
Twice the control. Twice the vision.
Twice the knowledge. So much knowledge in that brush for the side of Mnm.
A lot of free gold for Barrage as well, if they ever would look in that.
Half
And I
a
gotta say,
kill.
the vision control is actually insane from Mnm early on.
Sorry, I want to correct. Not half a kill for Barrage, because they only get 60 gold, but that's half a kill's worth of gold for Mnm that they just dumped into that brush.
Yeah.
So they clear it out. That's, you know...
Yeah, that's not great.
No.
No. As your team moves onto the Raptors here, and I do gotta say, I feel like if the game progresses at this pace, it does some favor Barrage with how insane their scaling is once you actually get to these team fights. Now, with the Rift Herald being taken really early and the Dragon not available, that might just be the case, as we do see Naughty making his way and the rest of the team is there, but it's too little too late as they pick it up. They try and go for a play on Monkeys, but the route is going to be the end of that. Nice disengage there from Barrage, and sneaking an objective like this under the nose of Mnm is huge.
Absolutely, and they can apply that pressure top, which it looks like Monkeys is heading towards, punish that Gnar, who has survived relatively unscathed in this early lane phase. Predator comes in.
There's the Predator, but can they find the actual knockup as Zergov dashes through the minion wave? Can he find the knockup? There is a explosive cask, but only Angel, he smelled trouble when the Predator came in. He's not having any of it, and that also means, I think, that we're not going to see the Eye of the Herald used just yet, although with Monkeys sticking around, it just happened a little bit later, and looks like that is going to be the case. A lot of gold going over as the 1v1 takes place here. D.Va is going to get away, and all seems to be going well for Barrage right now. Naughty is making his way towards the top side, but this is going to be a lot of gold into the pockets of Barrage as 3 plates get picked up almost immediately. They need to disengage now, because Chips is on his way, but I don't think they can actually follow up Chips. That is a bit of an awkward recall there. As Monkeys moves forward, doesn't want to use the flash, and Chips is just gonna walk away and contemplate his choices as he backs.
Is now low on mana, so did chase out D.Va, and actually the route from D.Va was so clutch because it hit a minion first just, and that meant he got the full duration, not the half that you get if you if it's the first target you hit. So did manage to evade that 1v1 despite the pressure coming out from Chips, and used to going very aggressive in this lane, and as he should, have the early advantage. But my concern for the side of Mnm is that in the later stages, they have so much to deal with from Barrage that just stops them from being able to make aggressive plays. The poke from this bot lane will be denied by the Sona healing, and then the burst potential from Chips will be denied by not only the Tahm Kench, but also if you saw is about his wind wall can really cut the amount of damage you're able to pump out.
Yet again though, Naughty finds a sneaky dragon as he solos that one, and in terms of ganking, it's been relatively even between Monkeys and Naughty, but in terms of objective control, a slight edge to the Mnm jungler, whereas we see, yet again, D.Va trying to prank everyone, including us, as
I mean, you say that, but I have to actually say the fact that Monkeys got the Rift Herald is huge. They got a lot of gold from that, and that is a sort of objective that a team who wants to win mid-game really needs. Infernal and Cloud are nice, but they're not really going to kick in until the later team fights, and by that point, you expect Barrage to be winning anyway. So I think, yes, it's nice to have those 2 dragons, but I don't think they're going to dictate the game.
Are you getting worried about your prediction, Ox? Not yet. Give it 10 more minutes.
Not yet. Yeah, give it 10. If in 10 minutes it's a similar game state, then yeah, I'll be worried about my prediction. And I'll have to praise you as the superior analyst.
That's going to feel good, you know, going back to the motherland with that knowledge in my pocket.
At least if you didn't 100% this week.
I didn't, no, because
if you'd done that,
I should have trusted in Benelux.
If you'd 100% this week, I would have made a shrine to you in my room and prayed to you every day for the superior
I already got one wrong though. Naughty goes for the axe, only Angel on off his own, and will get tagged up by the body slam, and the last breath. There's absolutely nothing the poor guy can do as he gets taken down, but now the retreat, that route on D.Va, but Chips doesn't really have the damage, hasn't backed yet, no Ludens available as Zergov kind of stuck in an awkward position here, but with Monkeys and D.Va on backup. He doesn't need to be afraid, and it looks like Barrage is actively looking for this first turret bot here. And if they pick that up as well and get themselves a gold lead in the early game with this composition,
it is not a good situation.
And there we go.
There we go. They get the tower. They're in a really strong spot. Gnar has been punished to a degree, and Mnm, they really need to get the tempo going for this mid game. Tower plating is down, and Yusa and Shogun, although they've done a great job putting pressure on this bot lane, they haven't been able to pick up the tower. And although the CS lead may look huge when you're looking here, the goal differences tell a different story because of all the Frostmancy money that Jack and Mac is able to pick up. And certainly if we have a look at that, the distribution is going to be a lot less severe than the gold lead we can perceive from just looking at CS.
Indeed, it's always quite deceptive when you're dealing with Klepto and double gold generation item bot lanes, and Barrage is really reaping the rewards of that, and it looks like we actually have a lane swap coming through here where only Angel is going to path towards topside again now, but I feel like the early to mid game needs to really be sped up, and that's what Mnm are looking to do as they go into fast like here, but a beautiful crescendo is the end of that. Beautiful distortion by Chips, but he does dash
flash
right back into Zergoff, and that's going to be the end of that. That's Monkiss, the flash body slam, absolutely insane there. The bot lane from Barrage has been able to completely withstand the pressure that's put onto them.
And that's why you take Sun and Tom, it's so difficult to punish them. Unlike the Taric where you just have to bait out the ult, it's much more difficult when the big aspect of the Tahm Kench is just to eat. They survive the pressure. Although the tower does go down, another goes in return for Mnm, as well as a kill on the Chips, and just really great performance coming out from Monkiss.
And you got to give this one to Monkiss here, because that's just insane. Like, Zergoff plays it off nicely, but look at that. Now, this is one thing that, he already set in the body slam as well.
Yeah, he went for the body slam in his spot, and then the distortion comes out, so he flashes to follow it up.
As only Angel forced to flash there, caught, unfortunately, by fast leg there with the Abyssal Voyage. And now Barrage, this is really the point that you're waiting for as a Sonar composition, these mid-game sieges where you just say, all your poke doesn't matter. And the Windwall really alleviates that. Chips moving forward, but there's no real terms of engagement. And this is one of the issues for me, is that now that Barrage have seemingly at 70 minutes already started moving on to this stage of the game, how do you actually get on top of them here? Because yes, Naughty can run at them, but everyone else is going to have such a hard time.
I think you need to find a big wombo team fight where you get a solid Gnar roll, or you pick someone off with a lot of burst, and this might be the opportunity on a Monkiss. He does have stopwatch.
And there is a stopwatch if he wants to use it, but it's not going to matter too much. The root comes through on Zergoff as well, but they're going to actually fight it here, and that's not the best of ideas. Zergoff tries to go over, flashes, a nice tornado, the last breath, but he doesn't actually find anyone. And that is going to be a great play here for Mnm. These are the kinds of things they need to repeat as Zergoff and Monkiss. They've had a great game thus far, but they get a little bit over-eager here. And it might also be the end of Diva as he off on his own. Fastlag is there to try and save him. Ooh. And with the blast going and the vow, he's going to stay a little bit longer, but that's not enough damage. And this is the Mnm that we were looking for as Jakamaka barely escapes the true shot Barrage, but it does mean another dragon, and more importantly, Mnm are showing that this game is definitely not done yet.
Yeah, and now that they've got 2 Infernals, that is a lot more significant. That really puts a lot of damage onto your carries in later stages, and it's going to delay the point where Barrage overtake in terms of their scaling. Their mid-game has really started to show. They're just able to look for these picks, a lot of mobility on their team, and having the likes of a LeBlanc and a Yuumi, once you land some of those slows on them, it's just so easy to follow up. There's so much mobility.
To be fair, I feel like that with everything with Yuumi. Like, once you're tagged by Pride and Projector.
Just Yuumi is so frustrating.
Yuumi made Garen viable. Like, that's a feat.
That's impressive. Even Riot couldn't do that.
Yeah. Garen has a place, you know. He has a place in the lore. He has a place as an introductory champion.
The one game mode where he's pretty good? ARAM. You know why? Because all those poke champions, you just heal it off. You just back away for a bit. Oh, hey guys, I'm back. I'm full HP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, and now he's good in some of his risk with Yuumi.
It's like Mundo, but then actually good.
I wonder if there's going to come a point where we realize that any champion is good with Yuumi. It's just Yuumi.
It's just Yuumi.
Yeah.
Folks, it's just Yuumi.
It's just Yuumi. She's just too strong.
So every time I ask you, is this champion viable with Yuumi, you go,
yeah, it's Yuumi.
Yeah?
Name a champion and we'll see if it's viable with Yuumi, and we'll try and break down why.
Let's think. If we get action here, we have to put a break on that. But I think if the wave clear comes through here, we might see the turret getting taken down. Teleport comes through. But the wave clear will be enough, and with Diva or Jakamaka also joining the fray, that's going to be the end of that. As I was saying, let me think of a champion that would be good with Yuumi. So, Volibear will be good with Yuumi.
Yeah, it would be so good with Yuumi. It's just you run at them and you have... Yeah, and you know, you root them and then you flip them.
Yeah, they're dead, because you're Volibear. Yeah. Let's see, what else do we got? Let's try to shoot the Ziggs. Would not be good with Yuumi.
The poke, can you imagine the poke? Can you imagine?
Okay.
If he just guaranteed lands a prowling projectile into the bomb, what can you do?
You can't do anything.
It's no counterplay.
Well. Ilaoi, yeah, will be good.
You give it extra AD. You one issue in teamfights is a lack of mobility.
Vladimir,
zoom,
even more healing.
Yeah, and then you just when you ult them, you then follow up with the root.
Okay. Tweet at us, #UKLC. Which champion would Yuumi not be good with? Because we are racking our brains here, and
I think that champion is just too strong.
It is you. It's just Yuumi.
Yeah. Someone will find one. Someone will find a champion, be like, this isn't good. And we'll be like,
Twitch.
No, you go submarine.
Yeah,
you just pop out, go bang,
actually,
bang, bang.
I played against that, and it was so bad. Like, you can't see prowling projectile half the time.
Exactly. Evelyn's disturbing with it. That's not one that's bad. That one's like super good. It's just there's no counterplay.
I mean, Gragas Yuumi, like as a lane.
I mean, as a lane is different.
Okay, like just in general, there, it's good. You know, you just get even more CC. You get a lot of sustain that you already get with your W.
Yeah, exactly. And then you just you root them into a free belly boss.
Shyvana's not good.
Are you serious? Shyvana just runs at you, leaps as a dragon, you get rooted, pop up. Plus,
everything
you can go AP Shyvana.
Oh,
can you imagine if you get prowling projectile and then when she's in dragon form, the big? Have you played that?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I played AP Shyvana.
It's so strong.
It's actually hilarious.
Yeah, just Yuumi's broken. There's nothing it's not good with.
As the naughty charges through, and it looks like Mnm, they have taken control of this game in terms of dictating the pace, but actually getting the objectives, that's been kind of a hardcore. Now the entirety of Barrage is making their way. As the Ragnarok gets used, that means no last breath available, no other follow-up, and with Zergoff on the other map, I don't think the last breath would be very likely, but maybe, you know, Tongue Lash, anything of the sorts as Yusa and Shogun clearing the waves, but I gotta say, I'm looking at this next Dragon here, or maybe something around the Baron, but Mnm don't have that good of a Baron taking composition.
Okay. If Tahm Kench eats someone, while he's eating them, can you Yasuo ult them before they get into his mouth? If he's ulting an enemy.
Knowing right,
I mean, if he's eating an enemy.
I think that will be the case. Yeah.
I'd be interested.
To me, it would make sense.
I'm not sure. It'd be a very tight window between the fact that they're being on the ground and them going into your mouth.
Yeah.
I think they may be airborne. I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out.
I actually don't.
Tweet at us, #UKLC. Maybe test it yourself.
This is not nearly as interesting as the Yuumi thing. Like, I want to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah, I was just thinking. I was thinking of it because obviously they have the ult coming out for Monkeys, which is fine for setting it up.
No,
but
I was thinking Annie, but like speed up Annie, and she just becomes a stun bot.
No, yeah, exactly.
I
think the question you have to ask yourself: okay, imagine you take a champion, you give them long range undodgeable poke, you give them movement speed, you give them AoE CC and healing. Is there any champion who doesn't benefit from that? And I'm like, no, I don't think there is.
Zillia, no. If you get past the early game.
Well, that's the thing, is it's talking about, you know, at their peak points. Would the champion be bad with it?
Zillia and Yuumi is actually, like, thinking about that already makes me feel a little bit nauseous.
How would you escape? You would never escape. It's like, okay, you take one step beyond, like, the point of no return, and you just ran down, you're dead.
As Monkeys and co they're showing themselves, they don't actually want to go for it. And Naughty, he's not afraid. He's got the Yuumi to back him up. And yet again, nothing happens. That vision control from Mnm has been really good, but I'm starting to worry a little bit.
I feel like that. Oh!
There's the engagement on
Oh, Monk is
Monk
held.
is getting really low. There is the final chapter as 2 teleports comes in. He gets devoured. Crescendo hits absolutely no one. A great explosive cask on top of only Ailey takes him no, but it's not enough as Monkus goes forward on his own. But that doesn't really do the trick as everyone from Mnm is still alive. Now they're in a choke point. Need to be careful about the consistent damage coming through. And in the end, it's just a 1-for-0 trade here, but Mnm are the one who find the win yet again.
Yeah, but Zergoth, level 15 here, is so scary in this Yasuo, and then that binding coming out from D.Va,
So big.
huge in allowing the disengage.
Like, they just lost the fight. Why did they have to push?
Because Mnm sent the other members to the top side. They do get a tower, but it's so scary to deal with this trio.
Here comes the flank though, and that might be the opportunity that we're looking for. D.Va has teleport, but Naughty has tagged there as Shogun is also helping out a little bit, but here comes the speed up. Chips though, needs to be careful as he dumps on top of Zergoth, who flashes over the wall. And there is D.Va, there's the first knock-up, but it's not the actual Chips. And the clone gets taken down, but Chips like, yep, that's fine. But flashes were burned there. But I gotta say, if this just keeps happening and we get another 40-minute game, you gotta be looking at Barrage here with how insane the team comp is gonna be. And with that moment of weakness, they're looking towards the Baron. Now the teleport comes in from Yusa here, just to clear the wave. But Barrage, they're just gonna start at the Baron. Now notice, they have no dragons, but it's still gonna go down fairly fast with the amount of damage that they have available to them. Yusa coming in for a lot of poke, and look at how healthy they are, thanks to the Sonar. Chakamaka doing a great job there, but this is a risky call. Chips isn't there, but the Baron is doing a lot of damage. There comes the final chapter. The explosive cast doesn't do enough as Fastlag gets rooted. He shields himself up, and Naughty's taking so low as Fastlag gets away at least for now. Only Angel getting to Supernar. And somehow, yet again, nothing is happening, but Zergoth isn't out of the woodwork yet, as only Angel is looking for him. There is a beautiful knock-up, and yes, Monkus dies, but so does Chips. And now, the disengage comes through after a great tornado from Zergoth. And we keep ramping up, and yet it's only a single kill for either team here. Baron doesn't get taken, and time ticks on.
It was getting so close, and I feel like these skill shots coming out of the back end from the likes of Zergoth and D.Va really just disengage Mnm and stop them from chasing further. But it looks like they might actually look towards Baron now. They do have the double Infernal, so in a very comfortable position to chunk through. But instead, just going to clear out the waves, look for a reset. And actually, Yusa, he's getting chased down. The ult comes in.
And they try and look for an engagement here on top of them, and there's a lot of damage. Zergoth gets taken really low, but there is a beautiful devour from Fastlag to hold him off at least for now, as D.Va comes through. They don't know it's not Monkus, so they immediately disengage there, but even a Pop Blossom would have been bad news. Also, I just look at the comment that Singed Yumi would be bad. I don't know why.
How would you escape Singed Yumi? How is it? It's not possible. It's just not possible.
Look that up, as the Baron is going to get taken here. Teleport comes through. Oh, the Singed would keep running away, so the Singed would troll, because they always run away.
I mean, I guess that makes
That
sense.
makes
You would never
perfect
catch
sense.
him even more so.
Yeah. As Chips gets tagged, taken low. And now Barrage are the one who are finding the engage on top of a Baron-upped team. And maybe we might even see a first Elemental Drake going over to Barrage, as they are now the ones who have priority, at least in terms of damage that have been done. And you're looking at Monkus, the big engager here, has gone for a very squishy build as we saw earlier, but as long as he can hit the casks, as long as he can hit the body slams, it's all good as the push comes through here. And look at how fast these turrets fall. Chips is waiting in the wings, trying to find a flank on the back line, but he can only find the more tanky targets. And look at how stacked up they are here. And this is one of the problems, besides only Angel and maybe a final chapter, there's not that much you can do to punish everyone stacking up to get in range of the Sonar heal.
Yeah, you really need to find only Angel Mega, and it feels like in all these team fights, he's just been hitting it at the back end and just missing out on the crucial moment where you want to be able to punish. You need that Mega Nard to come in, and that might be the issue with Mnm's composition, is that they don't have that hard engage they can force on. And the Cloud Dragon does spawn. It looks like Naughty is going to head over for that one. Should be able to pick up for free.
Just going to run at it again. And there's not a lot that they can do that. And I do got to say, though,
it's needed.
It's
needed for Mnm to get all these Elemental Drakes. They will have 5 after this one, and that means should it get late game...
They can get 6. Because of the timing, they can get 1 more before Elder spawns.
And it is another Cloud.
That's actually used. It looks like we Well, you're getting some of your answers. That's very nice coming up shortly. But Soraka and Yuumi. I mean, yeah.
I mean, she heals Soraka, Soraka heals your team.
Nah, I mean, actually,
Infinite healing.
and you can never get to Soraka
Yeah.
because she has to.
Vayne and Yuumi might be the worst I can think of. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I saw Final Hour tumbling after me with a Yuumi on the back of it, I don't think I'd live for long.
It's just Yuumi. Yuumi
Yuumi
and
and
Ivan. No, but if you have an Ivan jungle and a Yuumi and you have a carry that has hands, like you never lose.
Yeah, but I think this is talking about the Yuumi being on the Ivan.
Okay, yeah, that would not be good.
But I guess if you have a team comp with Yuumi and Ivan, you pretty much won anyway, so
It's moot. It doesn't matter. Zergov gets taken a little bit fast legged. Can we give the man some credits for his devours as Chips? Chunks Diva really low, and the teleport needs to come through there from Jakamaka. But this is the issue though. This is nice. Yes, you get a lot of burst. But if you don't take a damage target down, look at how much health Diva has now.
he's back up. He's
It
back
just doesn't
up.
matter.
There's nothing you can do. There's no counterplay.
And this is only 2 items. I mean, technically 3, but like this is not Sona at a peak point yet. It's only going to get worse.
This isn't even a final level. Didn't
not
even have a
even the
Rabadons.
I mean, it's Arcade Sona, so that's even more appropriate as they just started the Baron, and why not? You're not going to lose any health. Only Angel has the teleport available.
He now has
and
Mega.
Will be used. Has Mega now.
Oh, he's
and
gonna
they're
get
all
it!
stacked up, but he doesn't get it. He jumps over the wall. There comes one, but is that going to be enough as Jakamaka gets taken low, but he can flash away as Monkus and Zergov are in the backline. Zergov now off on his own, gets taken down. And the composition from Barrage is split up, but Naughty still takes a lot of damage, and they need to be careful because the sustain is going to come through as Yusa tries to get a lot of poke damage in.
They're
And
hurting
now
him
it's
in.
looking awkward. They're hurting him in indeed. And there goes Jakamaka, and he's absolutely instrumental. And now the rest of Barrage can only try and run away as Monkus goes for the charge. There is the double kill for Yusa. And it looked like Barrage might have finally cracked as a clean ace comes through. And Mnm just look incredible here as they finally find the opening they were looking for. That's going to be the Baron.
And the big thing was eventually they had the Mega Gnar. And although it didn't get a huge ult onto everyone, it managed to catch Jakamaka and force him over a wall and out the fight. And the big thing was because Fastleg moved away from the Sona to escape the Mega Gnar, it resulted in them finding an opportunity to split them up and finish off the team fight. Mnm now get that top inhibitor, will take that Baron as well, and they're starting to be in a really comfortable position. Yes, Barrage have great scaling, but the other team now has a Baron, now has 5 Dragons with 2 of them Infernals. This is not a good situation for any composition to be in.
So, around, I'd say, 15, 18 minutes ago, we were talking about Barrage. If they cut to 10 minutes later in the game, they would be in a good spot now. 33 minutes in, a sizable gold disadvantage. Mnm have the Baron buff available. 1 inhibitor is down. What do Barrage need to do to find their way back into this game? And Mnm, we just saw, if they can split up the damage, if they can take away one of the members like Zergov, there's just not a lot of damage coming out of their composition.
They literally just need to weather the storm. You survive through this
Oh,
Baron
the
buff.
Angel, no! No, why? As he does find the stopwatch, but I don't think that's really going to matter. And that's a big shutdown going over to Zergov. Yes, that's a nice true ship Barrage. Jakamaka throws out a single heal, and that's all she wrote on that one, as Naughty does use the Predator. But you're a man down, so I'm not too sure whether or not that's the best of idea. And they don't care. They're just going to run in, and they need to be careful of a counter-engage, but they will find the turret there. As Barrage, of course, with that top lane inhibitor being down, they're kind of stuck in their own base here. And they need to try and find maybe something like a root or a big engage if they really want to get something going. If they can't, it's just going to be clearing waves.
But this shows how desperate Mnm are. They know they need to make this Baron effective, so even with a man down, they're still going to look to apply pressure because they know if the game goes on longer, it's going to be really unlucky. LeBlanc, the damage is going to start to fall off. Ezreal has got a build that isn't going to scale to 6 items.
There you go, some damage coming through on Naughty, but Shogun sees the healing from Jakamaka and says, I can try some of that as well, but Yusa, coming into this matchup, we heralded him as one of the strongest carries last season on Diabolus. He's also looking really strong here on the Ezreal.
And one of the few carries who are still willing to play a carry.
Yes. Zergov, he goes forward on Chips, just distorts away, and this is going to be the final. And that's a 3rd Cloud Dragon here for Mnm, and that means that the Elder Dragon is Gonna be big, but it's
The whole
5
team's
minutes
gonna
away.
get zoomies. Yeah.
It's 5 minutes away, Orcs.
It's a long way away. By that point, the Baron will have worn off. Barrage have an opportunity to wait out this Baron. And then before the Elder gets up, they have to try and force something. Because the worst case scenario is that the Elder and the Baron are up at the same time. And Mnm, it's really hard to pull them apart because they can just bait around the Baron and then have one person solo the Dragon. As soon as they get that, it's just game over. The Elder Dragon will be so powerful.
I do feel like a single explosive cost on someone like Yusa might very well be the answer. It's a high-pressure situation here as the inhibitor is being held onto. A lot of wards coming through. Diva tanking some poke. And Barrage here, they're under a lot of pressure. It's looking close, oh so close, but they're not quite there. And Mnm, 30 seconds left on the Baron buff as they move towards the inhibitor. And I don't think they can really save this one as Diva moves forward and eats a lot of poke. Zergoff on of his own against Chips and Naughty goes for a tornado as the turret falls. And the second inhibitor rather might get taken down as Yusa with the Yumi can weather so much pressure here. And the first inhibitor will in the end fall there. As we see them move forward, they're looking for the engage. There they go, last breath on Chips. He buys a lot of time with the stopwatch though. Will get taken down. And there's going to be a first kill, but is it enough? Because look at the base, it's just slowly crumbling as Yusa is unrelenting in his pressure, but the game isn't finished quite yet, and now the re-engage needs to be weathered here by Mnm. Final chapter comes through, that's
the
one
route,
going down! And that's Jackamak, and that might very well be it, because that is so much healing gone. And Zergoff's move forward, there is the engage, it's up at Naughty, but the Yumi's doing so much to keep the Olaf alive here. But that's the last breath at exactly the right moment. Then it looks like we might still have a game on our hands, Orcs, because they can't end, but 2 inhibitors down must be a worst-case scenario here. I mean, for Barrage.
3 would have been worst-case scenario.
Losing the game is worse.
Well, yeah, sure. They still kept their Nexus, always a silver lining, but
yes,
they managed to punish. Great lock-up onto Chibs, who did get taken down. Flash is up now, but was not available for that engage. Zergoff did so much, and the perfect time because Shogun felt like this was his opportunity to jump out, proc his passive, jump into someone else, but he got caught out, ends up dying as well. And to lose Naughty, not too bad, but to lose Yumi as well is a big hit. And now, those 2 neutral objectives everyone wants to play around late. The Baron, the Elder Dragon, they're going to be on the cards. And sure, you look at Mnm's lineup and you say 6 Elders. If they get that, they win. But at the same side, when you look at the scaling for Barrage, if they get a hold of these objectives, I think the game could very much go in their favor in just a fight.
Crucially, the top lane inhibitor will respawn in a couple of seconds, meaning that they can just charge it down mid lane, hold off on the only inhibitor wave that actually is down, and then move from there. And again, it's a single explosive cost. Though Yusa's positioning has been impeccable. He has the arcane shift, he has the flash. If Zergoff can get on top of him...
It's a great point you're making, the single explosive cask. But you throw an explosive cask, and he's able to arcane shift it, and that could be enough to give Mnm the space to take the game. So yes, there's a lot of power in Monk.'s hands, but with great power
comes great responsibility.
Absolutely.
Have you seen Far From Home yet?
No, I'm going to see it.
It's very good.
I'm going to see it for my birthday, actually.
It's not as good as Into the Spider-Verse, which I thought was just insane.
That was insane. I saw that in my brother, but I am going to see it for my birthday, actually, which is coming up this month. So
that's awesome.
Can't wait.
It's going to be, you're going to enjoy it. It's a really good movie.
Good.
It was quite nice. As 6 elemental drakes, that's about as many as you can get. I think 6 is like probably going to be the max, right? Because they spawn at 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that is the max you can get.
Okay. So
you could get the Elder a bit sooner, but that's max. They're actually just 2-man the Baron.
And you gotta imagine that Barrage know that this is going on. They've dealt with the waves there as Chips does a lot of damage on fast leg, but they don't want to give up this Baron just for free. And mind you, there's no Mountain Dragons in this game, so it actually goes down quite low as Monkits gets chunked heavily. But he can take a lot of hit beating because Jakamaka's there to heal him up, and it needs to be impeccable here as the Baron heals back up, and they're going to try and start it again, but sustain for Mnm. Even with the Yumi, he's not quite as good. As Diva gets a nice root, but the follow-up isn't quite there. And Naughty, he might not do as much damage anymore, but he is really tanky. Diva waiting in the wings while Chips is looking for a big flank, but he gets spotted out by the spooky ghosts. And that means that he's going to be out of the fight at least somewhat. Might just path towards the base here and try and get that inhibitor.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going for the flank on that inhibitor. Meanwhile, Roger trying to force a Baron, but
yeah, that's
you're missing a trick here.
And it looks like they might not even let them back here as Chips. He's just going to take that inhibitor now without a problem. Diva almost gets engaged on as Naughty moves into the rest of the team. There comes the Pop Blossom, but it is on a Ragnarok top. And it doesn't matter as Olaf takes a lot of damage. D.Va will go down there in the very end. And Yusuf is still available. But that's going to be the end of that. It's still a man up there. But look at that. Chips is just ending the game. He doesn't care whatsoever. Abyssal Void comes through.
But it's just the Tom.
It's just fast-legged. That's going to be it, right?
What an anticlimactic end to this. And Zergos still getting kills. But
come on. Can they do it? No, they cannot.
What an anticlimactic end to that. 6 Dragons, we're talking about Infernals, we're talking about Barons, they don't even need it, but I've got to say, for someone who's so new to competitive, a great read from Chibs to go for that play and look for the back door. They knew how risky it was to team fight with the scaling, but they looked for the back door.
Barrage didn't win. I have so much faith in those guys.
You failed in one of your predictions.
I think I'm still ahead of you guys.
Yeah, you are.
Pretty
still mild. I can't catch you. It's impossible.
I'll take it. Hats off to Mnm here, because coming into the UKLC second season, you know, they were one of the rosters that we're really excited about. And you gotta look at a game like this, you know, the early to mid game, it was alright, but the moment that they smell weakness, they just pounce. They just dive on top of you and they just completely wrangle control of the game from Barrage, but at that point where it was quite a slow game.
Yeah, it'd been quite slow, and we're favoring Barrage because they were getting ahead despite having a scaling composition, but it just felt later on they didn't quite find the opportunities to make plays. And sure, they got some great picks on a Chibs in the bot lane and in other areas, but I never felt like they had a big engage, a big team fight. And one thing that was really lacking for me was the crescendos. I just really didn't see them come out in the right time to lock down a lot of people. There was some good Yasuo ults, but other than that, there wasn't enough to win the mid.
And the MVP will surprise absolutely no one is, of course, Yusuf for his Ezreal performance there. 9.0 KDA. Impeccable. And you saw that if you give him some room, like in that drawn-out team fight on top side, where really Mnm started taking over the game, he just takes it and he makes the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was willing to play this carry. And I think the big talking point is the amount of true shot barrages he just landed on the key members. And obviously, a lot of the time, they're just not important because you just heal up from the Sona. But the Sona can only heal herself and one other target at a time. And in that, before that last fight, that true shot barrage did so much damage to Jackamak and some other members. It meant the barrage really just had to back off. And it gave Chibs the space to go for that flank. And honestly, a really good read, because personally, I was like, why doesn't he just jump in on a D.Va and try kill him? But instead, he had the 200 IQ play. Yeah, he managed to get the win.
That's why you know, he's playing competitive, and you know he's stuck with me. Fortunately for you.
Unfortunately,
it's
an honor. It's a privilege.
It's an honor for me too. And as we get to my almost last day, because that's going to be tomorrow. All in all, incredible showing for Mnm here, and got to give some credit to Barrage. They held him for a long time. It feels like it's just a little bit. It's a game of inches that they're kind of missing, right? Like, there's just these little moments, like you're saying, a single flash crescendo, a single knockup that they can find so that Zergov can actually move onto the back line. That's all you're looking for. And if they find that, and if they look at this game and take that into next week, I imagine to see a lot more from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. They had not the best performance against XL, but they showed a lot of life. And then up against Mnm. And think about it, XL and Mnm, they were in our playoffs last split. They were two of our top teams.
Yeah.
Their rosters are pretty similar, if not arguably better this time round. So to have two solid performances against them, it's got to be promising. I just hope that they don't sort of lose momentum here. They keep improving.
Definitely.
And going forwards, I think a lot of the lower tier teams are really going to struggle against Barrage. And I think none of the higher tier teams can really rest on their laurels, because I think giving them a bit of time, Barrage could be challenging some of the top end teams.
Definitely agree with you there. And it looks like we got an interview to end the day with our MVP of the day, Yusa. How you doing, man?
Hey, hello, what's up? How we doing?
Yeah, pretty good. How do you feel playing against Sona Tom?
Yeah, that was a really interesting one. I think the matchup was pretty good for us because, as you saw in the game, Sona like upgraded her item at like 20 minutes or something. Like all we had to do was like not walk up to Sona and let Yuumi poke her down, and yeah, we just like farmed her basically. I had like, I don't know, a good power spike 20 minutes in.
And a question for you specifically, and Ox can ask the serious questions. Do you think there's a champion that's not good with Yuumi? Because we were racking our brains about that during the cast, and we just can't think of a single one.
Champion
not good with Yuumi.
Not good with Yuumi. I'd have to say Kai'Sa maybe, because like if you do Kai'Sa plus Yuumi, it's a bit like you're giving too much away, and like Kai'Sa's so vulnerable. Like sure she has E, but it's like you're not gonna stop a Nautilus or I don't know an Alistar from like comboing you.
I mean, it makes sense in a lane, but like late game, you have the Kai'Sa Yumi, it's gonna pop off. You know?
Which
Yeah, true. I was just thinking lane wise.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
Focused on the lane phase.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that your point of view on this is a little bit more informed than me. I mean, you are a sport main. So
I'm a Yumi expert. You know, I knew the Garen Yumi was coming.
So, you guys have been looking on the upswing after this win on Barrage, and of course, last week it was really only against Excel that you guys kind of fought. How are you looking onto that matchup if you do make it that far up the tower again?
If we were to face Excel again, I think it'd be a much closer game. I think that we
would ban Heimer.
Yeah, we thought that we could deal with the Heimerdinger, but yeah, no, it was too good for us, man. So next time we'll have something special prepared for them for sure.
Oh, ooh, I'm interested. So we've seen a lot of variations today. We've seen Garen Yumi in the bot lane. We've seen obviously the Sona Tom. You've been sticking to your carries. Are you willing to sort of try your hand at something more spicy? I mean, don't reveal strategies. Or are you just very much, I play bot lane to play AD carries. Don't mess around with any of that other stuff.
All I have to say is, depending on if it's allowed or not, you might see something really spicy coming up.
If it's allowed, what does that even mean?
If it's allowed, okay. You might see something really spicy.
Who would stop you? Is this like your team allow you? Is this like, you know, the United Nations who are like, this is too graphic? Or who's not going to allow you?
If the situation calls for it.
Okay, okay.
Is it spicier than Garen Yumi?
It's spicier than Garen Yumi.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited now. I'm excited.
Those are some big statements you're making there. I love that.
Yeah, well, I'm going to look back at this moment. If it gets picked, if it doesn't, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah. Please,
oh, you know,
Mnm,
actually,
Mnm,
if it doesn't get picked,
do it.
If it doesn't get picked, I'm just going to be like, okay, we'll just wait longer. But what would be the worst thing is if you pick something really boring, it's like, this is it. And I'm like,
No, trust me on it. It's really spicy. Trust me on it.
Okay, I'll trust you on it.
Yeah, and I got to say, besides Excel, of course, who were your rivals last time, who do you feel is, from the teams that you've played so far, the teams you're looking forward to playing, the one that you guys feel threatened by the most? Because obviously you can go for the obvious Fnatic Rising, but I don't know if you have a different view on that.
I think looking at the league right now, it'd be interesting to come up against, like without not saying the academy teams, but interesting to come up against the Demise because they seem to have this positive aroma around them right now, and it's interesting to see if like they're really good or just, I don't know, taking advantage of weaker teams in the UKLC.
Yeah, which I think is fair, and unfortunately they are going up against Fnatic tomorrow, so you will have to make it the finals, and they will have to do the same if you want to play them.
Imagine
this
if
week.
Demise actually.
Maybe they do.
Yeah.
Maybe they play Garen Yumi, and X-Mighty's brain just explodes. Can't handle it.
How would you deal with the Garen Yumi if you might face it? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think from personal perspective, I'd probably pick something with a lot more damage in the bot lane and a lot more like potential to kill. Like, I think they had Gragas Ezreal, which didn't really do anything to it.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you had like, I don't know, a hyper carry like Vayne or something, which like just kills Garen. It doesn't matter what Garen does. Like, he can't kill the Vayne, and Vayne kills him. I don't know, something that could just lock him down, or even, yeah, because essentially, why is Garen not being played in like ranked or solo queues? Like, it's Garen, right? Like, it's a weak pick. So
that's what we thought as well, Yusuf. I mean, after Garen Yumi today, I'm not so
Actually,
sure
I want to
anymore.
see it played more because I think I agree. The bot lane it was played up against was a weak bot lane for.
Mate, who sees it coming?
You know, Ezreal Gragas isn't exactly the bot lane I'd want to pick into it, but I genuinely feel that people underrate its strength. I'm not saying it's going to come out and be the next Sona Tarek and just be insane. I mean, it could be.
Watch you, so just pick it up next
but
time.
I feel like it's what a lot of people underestimate is in the mid game, he just feels so hard to kill. And he just runs everyone down. He removes slows with his Q. His W gives him tenacity. He has the speed from the Yumi. The prowl.
I'm not going to lie to you, so I kind of want to see you face off against the Demise's Garen Yumi now. Well, I don't know that's actually going to case. The remains to be seen. So you guys are facing. Last question. You guys facing off against Diabolus tomorrow. How are you feeling about that matchup?
It's going to be nice going up against my old team, but I don't think they're as good as they were Split Ago, so I think we'll smash them.
Because you're not in the team anymore.
Yeah, obviously.
Ever humble is his user. Ever humble. No ego. Well, thanks very much for answering the questions, user, and congratulations on your win. We will see you tomorrow.
Cheers for having me on, guys. Peace.
See ya.
And yeah, on that note, I love the confidence. I always like it when players are not afraid. And let's take a look at everything that transpired today, and perhaps more importantly, what's going to transpire tomorrow, as you're going to see some spicy gameplay coming through. Demise, they've been looking so good for a new up-and-comer, but can they do the same thing against Fnatic Rising? Really looking almost unstoppable today.
I think that's a true test for me, is because even if they don't win against Fnatic Rising, if they have a good performance, it shows they aren't just taking advantage of the weaker teams. They could look very solid. And Diabolus versus Mnm is going to be a close matchup, I think, in a lot of people's opinions, and mine as well.
I agree with you there. And, you know, I didn't have faith in Diabolus yesterday. Kind of feel like I should tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the predictions here, how they've worked out here. I'm fairly certain
wrong.
There's something wrong here, because no. No. That's. Don't let anyone fool you. You know, I'm leaving soon, but you can't pull this on me. Was it you?
It wasn't me.
Are you sure?
Someone's maths has been. It's Jake. It's clearly Jake.
Because I think Jake was leading.
Jake
on that
was
chart.
leading in that one.
Oh, Jake, you scoundrel! Oh, yeah, we see you there. Yeah.
We ain't falling for that. He wanted to just turn around and say, "Wow, Jake's in first. What a great analyst." We ain't falling for that.
Oh, unbelievable. So, really hype matches tomorrow. We had some slugfest today. We had a lot of action. And, you know, if you missed one of the matches, I can really recommend all of them. I think Gary Yumi is going to be a really highly watched VOD.
If you missed them, or you just want to reanalyze exactly what happened, we do have the YouTube LVP UK LOL. You can break down exactly how they won that game with the Gary Yumi.
I
think it was they spun and then they won.
Like, they ran at them.
Yeah.
And then they started spinning. And just, you know, just kept on spinning. And you know, if you have any big thoughts on spinning to winning on Yumi, we already asked your help on that one. Make sure to join the conversation. Hashtag UKLC at LVP UK LOL, and let us know, you know, how you feel about the games, how you feel about us. Preferably nice, because we're very sensitive. I know I am. I assume you are as well.
Yeah.
Don't think Jake is sensitive.
No, he's mean.
And on that note, we are going to call it for today, but we will be back tomorrow, same time, with Demise taking on Fnatic Rising and Mnm taking on Diabolus, and then the winner of that is going to go up eventually against the big Bat Meanie at the top of the tower. It's going to be Excel. We'll see you all tomorrow.
See you then.